it's not something I planned. I was just like a kid, and one day I just fell into a yo-yo. I got a yo-yo. My grandma, we were at Rite Aid or whatever, and I bought she bought me a Dunkin' Imperial, and my dad taught me how to throw it. Yeah, I've just been doing it for forever since then, like 16 years at this point. I've been yo-yoing. I've been playing kendama for 11 years. I've been juggling since I was 12. I just kind of kept learning more skill toys.
My first experience with skill toys was actually yo-yo. My friend John showed me it, and at first it's something like, I don't know, it's impossible to do at first, but it's impressive to watch. My experience with the yo-yo community has definitely led me to believe that it's quite knit. I'm not sure if there's different groups that stick together necessarily, but my experience going with my friend John and hanging out with all of his friends that are in the same thing, it was definitely like a family they had going on.
So what motivated me to just keep on yo-yoing was definitely the people and the interesting people I've met through yo-yoing and juggling and kendama have just shaped me as a person. I've had lifelong friendships, people who I've known for over 10 years, and we might only see each other a few times a year, but when we do, it's like nothing ever changed, that's kind of why I do it. It's just the people I've made friends with through it. That's where the video starts. All that other stuff.
Everything else.
Game starts now. How many juggles? Now it's so much easier than it was back then to learn, because I learned off a book and I couldn't really, it's hard to figure out something as three-dimensional as yo-yoing from just an illustration. So there was a while where I quit because I couldn't figure out how to do the man on the trapeze. So I stopped yo-yoing for a bit, but then once I got settled with YouTube, once my family got a computer, I started watching tutorials on Yo-Yo Expert, and that's when I found out oh, this is some crazy stuff they've been doing with yo-yo now, new tricks, and I just watched those freestyle videos for hours. You want to just catch on the finger, and then you're going to curl that finger, and you're going to pull your hands apart, and you're going to drop it, and it comes back. So the whole trick looks like this.
We would just hang out in my upstairs, listen to music, and he'd try to teach me and my other friend Cam, and it just became a bonding experience for us to do after school or work every day.
The learning curves are different for the different skill toys. Kendama is very linear, whereas yo-yoing requires you to learn more fundamentals before it gets interesting and you start making your own tricks. So it just depends on the individual and how you like to learn. But at the internet, you can just learn anything now. I feel the more you learn, the more they connect with each other, and you can do a lot of different tricks that are inspired by the other skill toys. So it's fun because I find myself using juggling ideas and yo-yoing, or yo-yo trick stuff in kendama. It's all really cool how it connects.
The learning curve on this, I feel is decently high, but not as high as something like yo-yo or poi.
But just in terms of motion and I feel there's a lot of flow arts and skill toys that intercept, but mainly yo-yo is really close to Diablo, but yo-yoing also has a lot of poi influence as well, because I do a trick in 5A called Tangler, where the counterweight and the yo-yo are intertwined and spinning around each other. You can do the same thing in poi, and yeah, kendama is also pretty similar to juggling, because you do a lot of juggles in kendama, but there's also a string involved, so you can do yo-yo tricks with kendama too, and it's very fun to kind of just see how they all connect and trace like the different influences to like the trick I'm doing. You know, I try to like just learn a bunch of different things when I can. Like I feel like even now I'm like still finding new like flow arts toys I want to get into. Like I've been getting into poi a lot this year.
The differences between the flow arts I know being really only kendama and yo-yo, I would say, is mainly how musically connected they are. I think it's much easier to flow to music with yo-yo, whereas like kendama is more of a at your own pace kind of thing. It's harder to line up to any kind of music unless you're pretty good at it. But yo-yo, you can kind of just, I don't know, you could just go with the flow of the music. I think it's much more of a flow art than kendama. It gave me a lot of confidence that like I could do new things that I haven't done before. I could learn hand-eye coordination. I feel like that was confidence boosting for me.
In high school, I was way more hungry competitively to just win, and so I'd practice like a lot in school and like when I get home. And now it's like maybe like less than an hour a day. I spend time yo-yoing. I yo-yo more for like fun and just to pass some time. But you know, when the competitions come around, I definitely love to like spend hours like perfecting the routine, because that's really the only way you can get your routine to be like perfectly optimized, or never perfect, but like optimized enough. It's just repetition and like figuring it out. Yeah, I mean, I like it. You know, or it might not be for you, but it's like fun to try. And definitely just buy a yo-yo or kendama or whatever like catches your eye, and just look up tutorials and learn. And the best thing is just to like have fun with it and like do it at your own pace. And, you know, just enjoy it.
I think the skills I learned through kendama definitely translate to other parts of my life, whether that be yo-yo or working in a kitchen. I'm definitely much more hand-eye coordinated now than I was 4 or 5 years ago, even though I don't do it as much. But I mean, even things like walking down water, I'm not spilling my water as much as I used to. So there's even like little ways it comes in handy.
I know, I definitely think yo-yoing has improved my life in terms of like dexterity, like definitely, but also just creatively, and having like an outlet that's just all to my own, you know, because people who don't do it, like they can't like understand it past like a certain threshold. But if it's like two yo-yoers doing tricks, it's like we're like communicating, so it's like really neat to just have something that just like you can just create ideas, and it's very cathartic, and it helps me like do other stuff like art.
Yeah, I think the flow state can be beneficial for you just because to me it's like the same as meditation. As far as it goes on like Instagram and stuff like that, it's cool to see the community like they're I don't know, they're always doing something, they're very involved. And then the friends I do have that play with them, you could just, I don't know, have a blast for hours.
The yo-yo community's just super like eclectic. There's like just so many different kinds of nerd like thrown into yo-yoing, and it's very interesting because there's older yo-yoers who are now like artists and designers, you know, who like do like cool creative things. So I'm like happy I've been able to make connections with just all sorts of different people and like go to a bunch of different places for it. It feels crazy. Like in that moment, like the first like contest I won in 2016 was in LA when they had nationals in LA, and it was like a really beautiful like venue. Like they did a lot to like make it feel like really like cool and official, and I don't know, just the adrenaline rush I get like in that moment, like everything just, you know, because the nerves beforehand are so bad, and then once you're on there, it's like everything just disappears, and you're just like in this crazy like headspace that I call like flow, just like a complete flow state. And that's like what I get the most out of like just competing like on a stage with like music I choose, with the routine I built, and just putting like so much energy into like making it, you know, good and enjoyable to watch. And you know, it's like just a really fun form of expression that puts you in like a really good flow state.
I don't know. When you're in the flow state, your head's empty. That's, I don't know, chasing that feeling, I guess.
Well, I never really like wanted to turn it into a career. I mean, I've definitely made some money like doing like school demos, and I know people who do school demos all day and they make money doing it. But I like making, you know, some money when I can, but it's never like, I never want it to be a job. That's kind of why I'm like making clothes, because I want to have like a creative thing I want to do as a job, and then I want to have something like yo-yoing that's just for me to enjoy and like enjoy with people, and it's not like a thing I'm trying to monetize. Because if it was my job, I'd probably hate it over time. You know, I'd get sick of it.
It kind of got addictive when I couldn't do something at first, and then I learned how to do it.
What motivated me to like just keep on yo-yoing was definitely the people.
It gave me a lot of confidence that like I could do new things that I haven't done before. It was definitely like a family.
Whoa, holy.